And we're only 10 minutes in.
Oh,
But
That's not too bad.
But there's only, maybe 2 minutes of that we could probably, that I might be able to use.
All usable. What are you talking about? Everybody wants to hear and
Yeah,
see
everybody
that.
wants to hear
it was
Sean.
gold. I mean, there's full podcasts that are about what ASMR
Right,
stuff.
but that's
like-
that's on the front end.
Yeah.
You know that going in.
You just put it in the title. Now we're good.
I don't know if that's enough.
This week on the podcast, Sean makes
No.
people
A
uncomfortable.
burrito.
Special episode.
Yeah.
Speaking of ASMR.
ASMR.
Jesus Christ.
Just almost dumped a whole beer on your laptop.
It's been great. It's just a stout. It's not a big deal. It wouldn't be a problem at all.
Yeah, it's
I
thick.
might as well go hose that thing off.
What are you looking at me for?
I don't know. It just seemed right.
Just seemed right. Wow.
Just
Okay.
seemed right.
Well,
Okay.
I spent like 5 minutes in the parking lot trying to fix my thermostat and officially fully stripped the bolt all the way out.
In this parking lot, you decided to try to fix your thermostat
Well, my
today?
thermostat, I replaced the thermostat because the old one got stuck open, which is this new thing that thermostats do where they fail
Open.
to get like hot enough that it hits these clips and it stays open. So I haven't had a heater all winter. And I was like, that's lame. So I took it all apart, put a new thermostat in there, clipped those things off so that it can't get stuck open. Because it turns out my Jeep likes to just get a little hot sometimes, but it's never overheated. So I put it all back together, put the wrench on it, tightened everything down, and thought I stripped it out. Well,
You have stripped something recently.
turns out when I got here today to drop off some tools for Tyson that I borrowed, which is a whole nother story, which I can tell later. The housing was kind of steaming again, and so I put a longer wrench, a regular 10 millimeter wrench,
Not a 3-inch.
not a 3-inch, not a shorty.
Okay.
Put it on there, and I tightened it down a little more, and it got tight. Felt tight. And I was like, oh, I was just being dumb with the little shorty wrench, and I thought I was already tight, and it wasn't tight. And so now it turns out if you tighten it all the way, leak goes away.
Sure.
Drove it home, no steam, no nothing, no problem. Drove it here tonight, steam pouring out of the hood, and I went and got that same wrench, and it just went whee.
Oh.
So it spins freely in circle by hand, which I'll be able to drive home. I have enough coolant probably to make it. It's 3.8. If I blow it up, I'll swap it. I'll talk to you about buying.
Okay.
If it happens. But now I have to go home and tap that and try and up the bolt size and do all that fun stuff.
When you're done with
Helicoil.
I know. I thought about doing that, but Tyson's like, don't be stupid. It's cast. You should just tap it.
Yeah. I was going to ask you to change my thermostat because I was going to try a lower temp one, but I don't want to do that
that'd be
after
my
this.
third time, so don't worry about it. I did the Miata because I pulled that apart. It had no thermostat, so that's why I wasn't getting any heat into the engine there. And then did the Jeep. Now I'm going to do the Jeep again, just, for fun.
For fun.
That was my solution with my Subaru head gasket, was just remove the thermostat so it wouldn't clog up from the air bubble that hits it, and you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll keep running.
Yeah, it's fine. It's all good.
Yeah, that sounds like a win-win.
Yeah. It's just every time you change your oil, you
so-
find fucking coolant.
Also,
in there.
though,
That's the Subaru thing.
Yep. That's natural.
That's how you know you've got both things.
if you change the oil and there's no coolant in it, you're doomed.
it's just a 2.5.
That means you're out of coolant.
But yeah, so the Miata, so Pittsburgh makes compression testing equipment.
That's Harbor Freight for
Yep.
anybody that doesn't know.
And if you don't know,
Not
good on you.
the city.
Not the city.
The city
I know.
itself.
Definitely not made in
Pittsburgh.
Is there a
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh in
Makes-
China? Yeah, because
Makes
that's
tools.
the only way. So did all my compression testing when I got the Miata, and it was showing like between 95 and 115.
It's not a lot.
No, and so I got from 95 across all cylinders to about 115 across all cylinders using my Marvel Mystery Oil, like we talked about. Did all that stuff. So it was pretty
Snake oil.
consistently.
oils.
I know, but
Call back.
let's be real here. From 95 to 115, that's a pretty decent
I
jump.
feel like, as we're going to learn,
It's a very consistent. So here's what we know.
it's consistently fucked up.
Here's what we know. With a max radiator supplied system to actually test compression that is not made in China. I
you
have
don't know that.
between 175 and 180 pounds of compression. Back-to-back checks, I have 115 still on the Pittsburgh stuff. So I wrote plus 60, and now I have an accurate gauge, and I know exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Well,
but
you have an
what if-
inaccurate gauge. You just have to do some math
No, it's accurate.
so that it is.
No, it's like seeing an RPM gauge, right? You have times 1,000,
But it's
so that you
not-
know that it's
but it's not
6,000.
accurate.
Yeah.
It's
Dead nuts reliable. It was the same. It was 60 off every time.
right.
From,
It's
the
it's
other
not
one.
accurate.
Well,
Wow.
accuracy and precision are two
When I
different
put
things, right?
When I put the plus 60 on there, it is now.
Hold
It's now
on, though.
accurate.
Is it actually plus 60? Does it start at 60? Or is it, whatever, 60% more than it was?
I don't care.
55%.
I'm going to add plus 60
It's not
to
a
everything.
It's just 60 psi more.
I bet it's
It
not.
Just, it
I
just
bet
measured
it's- I bet
60
it-
psi too
Because I
low.
bet at 20 PSI, it's not 70.
That's true.
No, but if I
But
get-
60%
yeah,
more than
the
20.
ratio
But
could
if I
be
get
different.
20 or 70, that motor's blown anyway. Either way, we're still not.
Okay. But what if you go up to 200? I don't know.
If it's at 200 and I have 275 instead of 260, I think that's a very high compression situation also, and I got to check some things out.
You probably shouldn't be using
Flat
that,
top pistons.
that Pittsburgh gauge on that
Yeah.
one. Huh.
So-
Okay, so what's wrong with the Miata then? Because it's
There's
still
an
kind of
injector.
messed
A
up.
myriad of
There's
things. I'm
definitely
sure.
an injector that is stuck. So
Mark that clip, just
Well,
in case.
we've talked about it already.
I know.
Brought it up, but I at idle when it's stuck open. So at idle, when I remove the clip off of the number 3 injector, nothing changes in the idle. It idles exactly the same.
Okay.
When I give it revs and it gets up to about 3,500 RPM, it still runs great from 3,500 to 6,000 because it's just dumping fuel into that cylinder. So it is very much stuck open, whether it's plugged in or not. That thing runs exactly the same. So it's just flowing fuel. And every time I pull the spark plug out, it's wet with fuel, and there was tons of fuel when I changed the oil in the oil. And so when I get back from California, I'll put some injectors in it and see if it helps.
All right.
So that one cylinder is nice and cool.
Oh
Yeah,
it's
all the
just
time.
dumping fuel in there.
The compression goes up a lot.
It's really clean in there
Yeah.
too. Very washed.
Very washed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with all that Marvel Mystery Oil I put in
Oh
the
my
tank.
God, no kidding.
Add to that.
Just the carbon spraying out of the exhaust was it was exciting to watch.
It's funny that a really hurt Miata that's like, dumping fuel gets an awful 12.5 miles to the gallon and a perfectly running big LS in a Land Cruiser gets about 11.
That's the same thing my
I
Tacoma
know.
gets.
Yeah. Well, that's even better.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's worse
So.
than my Colorado.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was just with a friend of ours that you guys know, but not super close, that has a 4xe, a hybrid Wrangler
Mhm.
on 35s. Pre-35s, he was getting like 40 miles to the gallon on his commute.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
So
I
good.
knew it was good, but it wasn't. I didn't know it was that good. Now he's charging it overnight and at work,
Yeah.
so it's
Ah.
running on all of its battery power in that commute.
Yeah.
But he drives to Prineville, so he's got like a commute.
Okay.
That's the
but-
point of those, though.
Yeah,
That's
It's like
the
40
whole
something
thing.
miles.
he was like, dude, if I
Oh,
if I
electric,
worked
yeah.
in town, it'd be game over. I've
Yeah.
just never,
Yeah,
it'd
it'd
never
always
turn
be
on.
electric. Yeah.
And then he's like, when I'm actually like want to use it, it's fast and it's fun.
Mhm.
I was like, man, that's pretty sweet. Too bad they had a bunch of recall issues and they're having
Yeah.
a bunch of trouble. But
They're onto
Also,
something.
that part aside,
Also, too bad
It's-
it's just
yeah.
a Jeep.
Well,
But,
It's
you
a
know.
plug-in hybrid though. That's the
the move.
that's the move.
It
This
should
is the
be where we
plug-in
went from
plug-in
the
hybrid
get-go.
mid-size truck show.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
We can just agree on that and move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can you
Yeah, it sounds like we're all in agreement. There's no
Yeah.
topic here.
no topic to talk about? Somebody should introduce us though.
Oh, and the Campfire Passport podcast.
Thank you. I was really hoping Steve would get one, but
Yeah,
yeah,
jeez.
Mike
Sorry, I'm
has to
just hot on
steal
the
it.
draw.
Yeah, I would probably
Good job, Mike.
mispronounce it anyway.
It's the kid.
You wouldn't have been the first person to do that.
But in reality, my mom, they're going to trade in the F-150 because they've got it. It's running great. My mom's no longer a gun runner in it, so they bought her a van. They got all these things
For running guns.
for running guns.
Okay.
And so my dad's got the Jeep that he tows behind the motorhome, and they just don't need it to be a truck anymore. They also found some aluminum in the front diff, and it's making some noise, and they're just like, we're not going to deal with that. We'll just trade it in and call it a day.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Back up.
Yeah,
F-150 or Wrangler?
F-150.
Okay.
Yep,
we
they're trading
switched
in the
through a
F-150.
couple vehicles, and I thought the
Yeah.
diff was the... Okay.
So they're going to get rid of it. And my mom's talking through what she wants to get and what this and what that, and she's throwing out a few different options that she's interested in.
Cybertruck.
No.
Okay.
But each thing she's throwing out, she's like, this one, but the gas one. And I'm like, it's like $1,000 more on that model to get a hybrid. You should get the hybrid. You're going to use it to drive around and do stuff, and it's like you should get the hybrid. No, I don't know. And then same thing. But that one's got a plug-in hybrid. That's even better. Like, you could run around town on electric mode, and you wouldn't have to worry about it, and that'd be probably better. No. Like, okay. And finally, I was like, a lot of the times on these models, the plug-in hybrid ones or the hybrid ones have like higher-end options. She goes, oh, like air-conditioned seats, and I was like, yep, exactly. Well, I might look.
Oh, my God.
And so my mom was convinced by luxury, not by efficiency.
Well,
And you know what?
It's a different
though?
generation.
Yeah.
priorities.
That's okay.
You talk to me at the end of my life, and I'm going to be like burning panda claws and bald eagle eyes.
I heat my house with tires.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. They're looking at all kinds of stuff. But
What can it be? Give me an example. What
she's-
mid-sized truck is she looking at? I got an opinion.
She's not.
Like a
It
RAV4.
was,
Just listen in. We'll give you all the info.
I know. It was F-150s, so they were looking at other F-150s, but they're kind of straying from that because they had to do cam phasers and they had to do quite a bit of work to theirs just in general. It's always needs something. It's had wheel bearings and
So
the
Raptor.
front diff stuff and all the other stuff.
Raptor R.
Yeah.
More luxury features.
I was
True.
trying to maybe. I was trying to convince them to get a Tremor package, but they weren't gonna fall
F-150?
for it. Yeah. But now I've got her looking at kind of like Tahoe sized stuff,
So small.
So Tahoe.
smaller. No, she's not interested in a Tahoe, Which is-
Escalade.
which is odd. But like the Kia
Oh,
Telluride.
Telluride?
It's a little, this is a little
Tell you
smaller
right.
than a Tahoe, but okay.
They're a little
Super
smaller than a
fast.
Tahoe.
Yeah.
And then the Hyundai Santa Fe,
Pass.
the new one,
The
Pass.
boxy one?
the boxy one.
Okay. I actually
which
kind of
think
like that
I think it looks
Pass.
better.
design-wise. The taillights are garbage,
It's
but
still-
the rest of it's kind of cool.
I saw one in a garage.
That is still the brand that you buy to drive and let it blow up.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
But they have a
Mine's-
10-year warranty, so let it blow up.
my mom has a,
Yeah.
And then you get to deal
Tucson.
with that. Yeah.
and
It's already
Taking
paid
it
off
in,
by
not
then.
having a car, blah, 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 all that bullshit.
it's, yeah. I mean,
It strands you somewhere.
It's
'cause
a
also,
decent
blew up.
mom
I'm
car.
pretty sure that they're like, like the Edmunds reliability thing. They're not like that. at
Yeah,
this point.
surprisingly,
I'm
the
pretty
Santa Fe
sure-
is like one of the most reliable ones, which is
I gotta
Yeah.
look this up because I
it's
just saw
pretty good
recently
Consumer Report.
Kia and Hyundai.
the list
are
was
doing
like,
all right.
oh,
Hmm.
I still feel like, though, if
But
she's wanting luxury and you're giving her cheap
Good point.
Korean
I'm not
vehicles,
giving him to her.
that-
Hold on,
There's,
hold on.
There's
I'm
a little
not-
miscommunicado there for
I'm
me.
not sending her there. I'm not sending her there.
Right.
Those are the things that she's bringing up.
Right, but
and
she
asking about.
wanted
I told her
luxury
to buy a
accordingly.
2022 Porsche SUV of any size because that's all the go.
like
all
a
the show.
like a stretched Cayenne.
you were gonna love this. I'm sorry to interrupt, but
Go
so
ahead.
JD Power,
Uh-huh.
for 2024,
Mhm.
the top 3. I'm gonna read you the top 3 and then the bottom 3 because this is fun.
'Kay.
Top 3: Lexus, Toyota, Buick. Who would have thought? But
Who
whatever.
has to
That's
They're not
gotta be a percentage.
They're not
thing.
selling a lot of
That's gotta be a
cars.
percentage thing. It's
There's
because they
7
only
on the
sold
road.
so many of them.
There's a lot in the middle. A lot of big names in the middle.
Mhm.
Bottom
course.
3, Chrysler the worst,
Mhm.
Audi the second worst,
Yeah.
Land Rover the
Oh,
third
yeah.
worst,
For sure.
honorable mention Volkswagen at the fourth worst. Chrysler is the worst by probably the biggest margin between anything.
Now, Chrysler, did they split that up so that it's
No, it
so
is.
It's,
No,
so
it's split up because
Chrysler's on
Ram
its
is
own,
Ram is
or-
its own, Genesis
and
is its
Jeep
own.
is
They
its
split
own
it
and
up.
all
Yep.
that? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Jeep is middle of the pack, right right above average. At I can't tell what the number is, like
So-
10th.
Really, even more impressive than Buick being top 3 is Chrysler being bottom 3, because when it's Chrysler, just Chrysler
Yeah.
stuff,
Minus Jeep.
again, not
Not a
that
lot
many
of 'em.
things there.
Yeah.
So if there's not that many
There's
things and
minivans.
it's that low on the list,
Pacificas,
that's pretty bad.
Chargers
300s.
and Challengers. 300s went away last year,
Oh, they did? Okay.
or maybe this year. So
Those are Dodge, though.
The Grand
Dodge,
Caravan
Challenger,
has
Dodge,
to
you're
be
right.
what carries.
That's
Oh,
not
yeah.
So it's
Chrysler, unless
Chrysler-
is there Dodge on the list?
Yeah.
Okay,
then
so
it's
then it doesn't
Dodge
even
is
count that.
Ironically,
just the
Dodge did pretty
Pacifica?
well.
See, so that's what I'm saying.
Let's see, Chrysler.
There is not many Chrysler
Is it literally just
Vehicles,
minivans
It's
abandoned on the side
minivan.
of the highway, left and right?
Hold
full
on,
of
we gotta
kids.
see. Cars and minivans, all vehicles. Pacifica,
Mhm.
They have a 200?
Pacifica Hybrid, Voyager, also a Pacifica.
Which- yeah.
That's it for 2025. Hold on.
So there you go.
Oh my God! In 2025, Chrysler only has minivans,
That's
Yeah,
see.
but I can't tell if that's
All you-
24 as well.
Guys, all you need is a Grand Caravan. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, it's the end-all car. We will all end up in that car. We know
Oh my
this.
God.
You'll bury me in one.
You'll bury us all in the same one.
In the same one. It'll be shared.
A new meaning
Seats
to
8,
mass
come
grave.
on.
Yeah, 2024 and 25, Chrysler is only minivans.
Yeah.
Now
Wow.
they
So
got
that is by
I
far
bet-
the worst you could do. Think about how many Audis there are, like
many,
just in general,
many models.
compared to that, and they're at the bottom of the list. But yeah, so like
That's-
their percentage must be
That's pretty rad.
So,
insane.
There was a thing that that I saw recently about the plug-in hybrid Chrysler had the same issue that the Jeeps and everything else did, and so maybe again a percentage thing where they were having trouble with their hybrid system, and
Yeah.
maybe 60% of them are hybrids, or maybe 30% are hybrids even. And
Mhm.
that's a pretty big thing.
So I wonder. So Jeep made it above middle, and they have the same hybrid issues.
They just sell a lot
They just sell
more
a lot more.
other
yeah,
things.
Just more of
Yeah.
a smaller percentage. Yeah,
Ram, like bottom, not
bottom mid,
yeah, like
middle of the bottom.
less than average for sure. They're sharing space with GMC and Genesis.
Is it the TRX that's bombing them, basically, at that point?
Because
Are they-
everybody's jumping them,
No, even that. You can't get
just
to
like the Raptor when it first came out.
You can't even get the TRX to the jump. It breaks before it gets there, from what it sounds like.
There's a lot of. There's been a few people who have had superchargers lock up.
Mhm.
That's
which
probably
is-
because they're sucking things into them because
Because of jumping
they're
'em.
driving them like idiots all the time.
I want to hear the noises.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if I had a supercharger, I also would want to hear the noise.
When
They
I had a
sound so cool.
supercharger,
Yeah.
it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I'm not
Make-
gonna lie.
Should
make the
should
best
we not
noises.
just have supercharger buttons on our car that just give us the noises?
That'd be awesome.
If I ever get an electric car,
Fake parts,
it-
though.
it
That's
needs
my
to be.
can't get on board with that. Doesn't correlate to more power, and it's not really there.
I'm pretty good with cognitive dissonance, though.
I like to pretend.
Yeah.
Zone out and yeah.
Well, speaking of reliability things,
Mhm.
we what was brought up in the chat is this Lexus GX
Oh, yeah.
550 issue. I'm reading the article right now. I'm
It's
trying
the
to
550.
Talk me through it because I don't
I
remember.
thought it was the 470. I thought it was the new.
It's the new one.
The new
new
big-
one's the 550.
It's a 550, not a
That's
470
right,
anymore.
It's a 550.
Yeah, okay, well,
What's
big
the-
numbers.
shows you how much I care.
I didn't pay attention to
Well,
this in the chat.
They're less bland than the Toyota Tyson.
Yeah, right.
So Mike, basically what's going on is one guy, and I can't really tell if many others, but at least one person has found that all of the plastic trim on his vehicle is melting.
Melting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In 54
Oh.
degree,
54-degree weather.
but direct
Inside or
My-
outside?
Outside.
Outside pieces. So like the mirror
the
caps
mirrors.
and
and,
the
like,
like trim
door
along
trim.
So is it like
roof.
direct sunlight kind of thing? Or?
Yeah.
Must be.
Huh.
That's what Toyota is claiming. That it has nothing, it's not of their fault.
Well, I think you should be allowed to park underneath the thing that ignites in space that we can't control.
Without melting.
Yeah. I think that you should be allowed to park in the sun.
Yeah,
There should be no
it
rules
is
against
in
that.
Arizona, not warm winter, so it whatever. One other guy apparently in the Facebook group from Charlotte says that his is doing the same thing, but there's no corroboration of the story at all. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to give them too much credit, but my assumption is this one's got some messed up stuff, and I doubt that many of them have had this happen because I've never seen this.
Yeah.
There were a number of plastic issues coming out of China used in building materials during the pandemic. And it was like a failure to get product. So in an attempt to keep plastic coming, they had to make some changes to different, formulas to make this type of plastic or that type of plastic. And so a bunch of rubber, which would be a softer compound probably than that, but a bunch of rubber boots that go on roof jacks were bad, and they went bad within like 48 hours of being in the sun. Just melted to bits. You could shove the plastic back together like it's clay. And it was a bunch of different stuff. And apparently there was other things that were made with that same plastic that were problematic. But I wonder if it's a similar thing. Like they had
the Land Cruiser mirrors the same.
Cruiser, I like that.
Are they the same?
No.
Or
they're similar, but they're not painted. I think they're not glossy. Maybe the upper end one is.
I'm just curious if since they're very similar vehicles in general, I'm wondering if they use the same type of mirror, and now because the Lexus came out before the Land Cruiser did, and so I'm wondering if once we get a little further down the road and we have some more of those, if
Might be an
those
issue.
maybe have the same issue too.
So I started trolling through the comments of the Drive article that was shared, and God, I hate reading comments on these things. They make me so mad.
Yeah,
so
read the comments is the worst.
I'm going to read a couple for you. One of them is
Sean reads the internet.
Yeah, same. Yeah, everybody loves this segment. Same issue with my new 2024 Land Cruiser. Trim melted in 6 areas, all on the passenger side. Contacted Toyota Corporate, and they said not covered by warranty. Dealer said don't park it in the sun. I say don't buy the Land Cruiser. Can you believe that on an $80,000 car?
Wow. So on the
So who
Land
knows?
Cruiser, it
Anecdotal,
potentially is.
Who knows? My favorite comment so far, though, is Jeff here, who says, Lexus value have went down since 2023. Since the making of 4-cylinder and turbo, they are trying to cut corner, making cheapest part they can.
He's also cutting corner using less
is this
words.
A translate?
Might be.
Or is this...
I have bought the last 6-cylinder 2022 Lexus RX 350F Sport. I think he's implying he bought the last one, but I think he means he bought the last generation, but whatever.
Yeah.
No, he's a Corvette
he says,
guy.
This will be my last cars from Lexus unless they change. So Lexus is shaking in their boots reading that
I'm
comment.
sure they're really concerned.
Jeff sounds like an AI program that
He really
needs
does.
to learn
sounds like a
On driving.ca, they went a little further.
Oh, Jesus.
When I pulled this up.
What is .ca?
It's Canada.
Canada?
They went a little further. They pulled it up on Google Street View.
Did they say sorry before and after?
It starts with sorry.
Sorry. Sorry, but...
And they pulled it up on Google Street View, and it shows that where his house is, there's a cabinet shop with a bunch of glass windows that they assume
that all
are
reflecting onto him.
numerous highly reflective windows facing the parking area, which is not unusual for Arizona, but it may be...
Could be a contributing
Part of
factor.
the-
I mean,
It's
either
actually
way,
parked
though,
next
that
to a
means that
parabolic
come summertime, the cars that are in Arizona and New Mexico and Texas, places that get hot, are just going to naturally melt.
These things have been out for over a year. They've made it through a summer.
Okay.
So,
I think it's going to be a batch thing. I think there's going to be a batch of like...
Probably a production
Just-
range. Yeah.
just like the engines.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, it's true.
This one, Dave was just shooting metal shavings into it. So for some reason, there's some problems.
Yeah, instead of a UV resistant resin, they went with a UV catalyst.
Yes.
Whoops.
Yeah. Want to absorb the UVs. Yeah.
Ah, damn.
Which is extra funny because didn't Toyota have that whole advertising campaign around that Tundra that drove through a fucking wildfire to get the people safely out? Now they're making cars that melt in the sun.
Wasn't that the previous generation though?
Yeah, it was a
it was
previous generation.
What
Tundra.
it was that it was right at the launch of the new one, and the old generation the guy had.
He was going in and
about
rescuing people from the fire, and then Toyota gave him a new one, and they vinyl wrapped it in the same.
He went in several times to get people out.
Yeah, he was going back and forth. Like he was,
awesome.
Dude was quite the hero from my understanding.
So a 2014 Tundra can go through a wildfire, but you can't park in a parking lot in Arizona and safely.
Sorry,
anyway.
I just wanted to.
Yeah.
I was gonna transition us into our next topic.
Oh, okay.
But while I was doing that, I was just scrolling through the drive because it's fun to read, and and I ran into this, which is awesome.
Is this the one that you were talking about when I brought this up?
No.
Or no, this is a Delica.
This is a Delica, not from Dakar Rally, which is what we're going to talk about next.
Yeah.
This is from this is the Mitsubishi Delica Mini that went on a 1,250 long mile rally. What was it called?
Mile long or long
the
mile?
Asia Cross Country Rally. But it's sweet.
It's so
How long
rad.
is a long mile?
It's the
Did I say
same as a
long mile?
short mile.
Yeah, you said a
Oh,
1,250 long mile.
Oh, well, a little dyslexia.
Sean reads the internet.
John reads.
Everybody loves it.
You could literally see what's underneath your tire.
I
in that
love
car.
this car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would pay money for that.
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
looking at the smaller Ford Transit, like the not big van things, the other day in traffic, and I was like, how come those didn't ever take off here?
Oh, like the Transit Connect?
Yeah, like the little one, the tiny minivan. It looks like the Mazda 5 did before.
Yeah. Transit Connect.
And I'm just like, I wish those had taken off because microvans in the U.S. would breed more microvans in the U.S. And then we'd get cool shit like this.
We could have a key car.
These things?
Yeah, and I don't hate these as they are.
All
But-
right.
It's
A
ugly.
little long in the front.
But
Kinda weird.
Don't do it for me, but all right.
all
Or
I want is for them
escapes
to become
with van
popular.
backs.
Yeah.
No, I just want
We've got
that
an
to
old
become a
one out in the
popular
parking lot.
segment in the car market so that we get the cool ones. Because if that became a popular segment, that car, the Mitsubishi, would be here.
Well, except for Mitsubishi is
Dead.
barely doing anything.
Well, not
They're not dead. They're getting bought.
Honda, yeah. Everything's Honda now.
Soon KTM will probably be Honda at this point.
Yeah, it's KTM went bankrupt, right?
Yeah. Well,
Is there any
they're
news on what
looking
they're
for
gonna have?
buyers.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
That's it.
they're contemplating bankruptcy at this point.
Haven't
Again.
they been bankrupt before?
Yeah. That's
Yeah. Okay.
Everybody's been
They've been-
bankrupt, man. I mean, come on.
They make a fantastic product.
It's all
They just
fine.
can't make profit.
Yeah.
I just don't know how to do-
BMW
I don't know how to
sold
make
them.
money on this.
Speaking of KTM, though, I guess we can talk about Dakar because it's going on right now.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not really, as we found out
Turns out
pre-show.
not right
Well,
now. Yeah.
This week, it's happening.
They're sleeping.
I wanted to start
Ooh.
on this with some Dakar trivia.
Oh, I'm not going to know
shit.
anything. I
Yeah.
can't wait.
So, well, for those people that don't know what the Dakar is,
Mhm.
look it up. You're missing
Try
out.
Google,
If you're
dipshit.
into car stuff, like
Should be looking.
you
Yeah.
should. I'm not saying you need to follow this race
No.
every second of it. I'm saying you
I
need
watch the
to
highlights every
look at
year.
it and check it out because there's a lot of cool stuff. It
Yeah.
is very much a cool thing to see.
I hardly
go on.
watch any of this stuff, and I always every year I find the highlights and like watch the results and just see what went on because it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's all kinds of cars.
What does anybody have any guesses on the full length?
In miles or kilometers.
Oh well, I'll let you try either.
Huh. So I know it's like, what is it, 12 or 13 days. I don't know how many miles.
1,000 kilometers.
No, that's wrong. I'm going to say
Okay.
it's
Thanks.
3,500 miles. I
Okay.
have no idea. That's
Okay.
my wild guess.
3,500 kilometers.
So
Get fucked, Sean.
Steve, what is it?
I think it's like 5,000 or 6,000 kilometers. I thought.
So
Sounds an awful lot like 3,500 miles to me.
it is the equivalent distance of an entire WRC season.
Okay.
Oh shit!
Which is?
The entire season.
That's a lot.
I don't know. I don't have a number. I just
Oh,
said that.
come
Come
on.
on.
You can look up the number. That's not up to me.
Okay.
You do it.
Looks like it's,
I've
it's
got the
8,000
stuff.
kilometers.
There you
Oh
go.
my
8,000.
7,891 kilometers.
Only 4,700 are timed
Timed.
special, though. Yeah.
Did
So
you
some
know
of it's just from stage to stage.
that there is speed limits?
Yes.
Yeah. I saw that somebody got
So
ticketed.
in
or
that sense,
points off.
there's speed limit for trucks, cars, and motorbikes. They're all different.
Hmm.
Any guesses on those?
I mean, truck must be. Wait a minute. Are these like throughout the entire course or just? Oh, interesting.
Mhm.
I'm going to say trucks, 100K.
100 kilometers an hour?
Yep.
You think that the fastest they're allowed to go is around 60?
Yeah, 62.
No.
Big trucks, I'm thinking. right?
Oh, are you talking about the
Oh.
like?
no? Is it higher?
You're way off. Yeah.
I think it's
Oh,
higher.
Damn. What is, okay, I got to know then.
I think 100
can't-
miles an hour for the big trucks.
140 kilometers
140.
an hour for the trucks.
Okay.
So that's 75.
The bikes have the lowest, just so you, I figured.
False. The trucks have the
okay.
lowest.
Okay.
Yeah, I assumed that, but I was just way off. All right,
Yeah.
just give us the
86
numbers.
point-
Cars are
0.99.
170 kilometers, and motorbikes are 160 kilometers.
Yeah. I know the motorbikes are 100 mile per hour.
So
but
105 miles an hour is 170 kilometers. 160 is
100.
99.4.
Yeah.
So wow.
Any guesses on the winningest brand?
Oh.
Mitsubishi.
Red Bull.
I mean,
Brand,
I'm going to go
not
with
like or manufacturer because
Okay.
it's all manufacturer based.
Mitsubishi is what I'm saying.
I want to say it's going to be like Renault or something like that.
What
Hmm.
year did it start?
Oh, it was a long time ago.
I'd probably say Honda.
KTM.
Yeah.
Really?
KTM is actually the
Just like
winningest manufacturer.
Yep.
Interesting.
Montero or Mitsubishi is
Mitsubishi.
the winningest
Vehicle.
like
Or a
car, non-motorbike.
1978. So the rally started in 1978.
Yeah. And they also have the most consecutive wins.
Really?
Mitsubishi does with 7.
That's
Wow.
pretty cool.
KTM
So I
also
wasn't
at
far
one
off.
point had like it's the same way with WRC and Subaru where 70% of the pack was racing on KTMs
Yeah.
at one point. So
Mm-hmm.
it's
That's
kind of
awesome.
skewed, but yeah.
Well, yeah, and then they didn't make any fucking money off of it.
No, it's
Well,
it's the
they
dead
spent
loss
it.
always.
Yeah. So all that to say, Dakar is cool,
Very.
Yeah.
and we were going to move from that portion of Dakar
Mhm.
to Sean. You wanted everyone to
Oh,
pick
yeah.
what their favorite current vehicle is at Dakar.
Yeah.
Do you want to lead us off since it was your idea?
Yeah, I got 2.
Okay,
Should I screen share? I'll screen
sure.
share.
If you've got it, if you can pull it up quickly, sure.
Hold on.
The suspense is killing me.
No one's going to be surprised about this.
I had one ready, but I let you go first.
Oh, you shouldn't have
Is
given
there-
me a lead like that.
Hmm.
I'll be there. Just 2 seconds.
You'll be there.
I'll be there. All right, here we go. Then no one will be surprised. It's gonna be good.
Because it's an 80 series.
Because it's
It's not. It should be. Be better if it was. But no, it is the Toyota Team Land Cruiser Toyota Auto Body, which is piloting the stock series 300 series Land Cruiser.
So
Hmm.
rad.
Okay.
It's really cool, and I just think it's really neat. I also have honorable mention.
Mm-hmm.
When I was looking at results today, I saw the Mini Coopers, and I know you guys hate Mini Coopers,
No, but I saw one
but
too.
they're so cool.
They look rad.
So,
I was literally just Googling those because I saw one that was not like liveried up in some of the race footage I was watching, and it looked like a
this thing.
clubman that had just been set on top of a race chassis, and it was like OEM looking
God,
from the
stupid.
top of the doors up.
Share this tab instead.
But
look at that
I
thing.
agree. That's rad.
It's so ridiculous. I love these.
I thought it was rad.
At
These
that point, I'd
things.
rather just drive a side by side.
Exactly.
I mean, it's
I'd just be that guy.
basically a
Like,
side.
yeah,
I think
I'll
you
just take
are
the side
driving
by
a side-by-side, yeah.
I don't want my side by side to look like that.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Toyota is also crushing it in the main truck category.
Yeah.
They've won like a ton of
They're-
races this
Their Gazoo team or
this
whatever.
week. Yeah.
All right. Well, here's
Mitsubishi.
here's my favorite right here.
So
yeah.
rad, dude.
Is the first gen.
Is that like the retro class this year?
This is the classic
Classic.
class.
Yeah,
Yeah.
classic.
This is this
that's
year.
right.
Yeah, and
That's
it's
so cool.
the livery is perfect. It's
Yeah.
spot on. This picture in particular, like I fucking
Oh.
it just I love it.
It goes hard. Yeah.
It
yeah.
is such
it's
a good
perfect.
like yeah. There's some good ones in the classic
It goes
I'm sure.
class,
very hard.
and this one really got me because that livery is spot on perfect.
I was going to say this at the end, but I want to say it right now. I don't think there's any bad Dakar vehicles. I just challenge someone to find a bad
I don't know.
one.
There's a couple of Citroens that are
They're
like
ugly, but they're
that's
cool.
dumb.
They're still pretty rad. I was watching an interview and a guy's like, "Yeah, we brought it. We doubled the horsepower. It's now 48 horsepower.
It's a lot.
And he was just going through about how, well, we don't weigh a lot, and I lost about 10 pounds before we started this, so that we could increase our chances of getting up the dunes. But
They'll never hit the speed limit.
right, not once. They don't have to worry about it at all. So I have a most hated, loved vehicle that I'll see if I can't share. Oh man, are you watching the live feed?
According to you, it's the live feed.
probably
Yeah.
the
Turns
live
out
feed,
it's not
turns out.
live.
I know. Later on,
It
you'll
was
see a
live
little-
at one point.
Mhm.
Yeah, you'll see a little thing down there that'll say yesterday. But I found a classic. See, that's all. I know, but then it goes away. So I mean, how am I supposed to know?
Man,
Yep.
the realization
This is
of the
also
math
for
of what
stage
time it would be.
One.
I don't do math. I won't. So my vehicle, I think my favorite vehicle is the Raptor. I know that's a weird one, but it's the only V8 in its class of all of them.
Class leading.
And it's a 5.0, and it sounds like it's
Wait
just doing,
a second. Why is it a 5-liter and not a 5.2?
I don't know,
Does it say? It really says.
the 5.0.
Weird. Okay.
Hmm.
Surprised it's not a voodoo.
I would think so, because you'd want that crank
You'd
to
think it'd be
just
You'd
sing.
think it'd be like a. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, but
Let's see it. I want to see.
Well, somebody else was showing the
sharing.
screen.
There you go.
So it's this guy, and it's just, I think it's rad. I was looking at a bunch of different videos of it. The only V8 running. Ford,
Are you going to share the screen, or are you just going to
Did it
say
not-
it's this
He's
guy?
hyping it up. He's hyping it up.
just wait. I don't even know how to do it.
It's the share button.
Well, who's to say?
Oh yeah, I saw this.
The car looks cool. I like the way that they
Does it,
tuck the
though?
tires in the side.
It's weird. Cool.
I don't know. If,
It's rad. I like
I
it.
think it's rad. I think it's super rad. But the fact that the only V8 plan, I think, is rad. And it's a Coyote-based 5.0.
Weird.
I know, I told you. But they ran it at Goodwood also,
Huh.
which I thought was kind of cool. So I saw it before all of this, and they ran up Goodwood, and it was pretty rad to see. But-
Raptor TI. It's not a Raptor truck. It's
well,
It's, a Raptor Dakar.
It's, yeah.
it's their
like a
race car,
buggy
but it's
type thing.
it's
yeah.
their, they call it and it's not a TI, it's a T1.
Oh, T1. Sorry.
Yeah, like a
Oh,
Terminator.
T1 Plus.
Cut out
But it's the pinnacle of Ford performance Raptor design. according
That's
to these guys.
insane.
But it was cool. It was cool to look at. I watched a bunch of different videos on it, and the guys that are running it are like interesting, and it was fun to listen to them chit chat and talk through stuff. But I just think it's cool that Ford, being the American racing company that they are, was like, you know what? Yeah, we should put a 5.0 in it. There should be a V8, and I like that about that.
Well, to me, Raptor means V8.
Yeah,
I
it
get
has to.
I get that
There's-
the Ranger doesn't have a
Well, I
V8.
mean,
no,
neither does the Bronco, and the
neither does
truck
the
didn't
current
till
Raptor.
recently.
Yeah, the Raptor
What do
R
you
is the
mean
only V8.
truck didn't until recently.
It was a
Well,
twin turbo.
I mean, it's been
3.5
EcoBoost for a
EcoBoost,
full
yeah.
generation before they brought out the R.
Right, but originally
Originally, yeah, I get it.
6.2. Yeah. The big
It's
old.
supposed to be a
honking
V8.
Yeah.
Originally 5.4
Was it 5.4 before
and
the
then
6.2?
6.2. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
Mhm.
yeah, but V8 either way,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like that. Sure,
V8,
I get that.
that
The
was
point,
the
yeah,
6.2
But like
is
right
what I have.
yeah. But yeah, that's cool. It's a cool rig. Did you see?
Well, you didn't let Steve say
Sorry.
what his favorite
Sorry,
is.
I
Oh,
was just thinking about the same vehicle.
This guy over here.
Mine's
Hey, what bike did you like?
exactly.
Was it a KTM? Is it a going out of business sale?
It is.
After they win the Dakar again.
It's gonna save. We're gonna save the shop.
It's the 450 Rally.
God, it's so
Yeah.
cool.
And mainly the reason why I would choose this is because you can actually go out and buy that.
Yeah.
That KTM released
Production
it.
vehicle.
They released it as they call it the replica, but
Mhm.
it is a factory model that you can find and you can buy as is, which is
So cool.
fucking rad.
Yeah.
They're like reasonably priced too, right? They're like 25 or 26 grand for a race bike.
You said reasonable start off.
But for a race bike,
For
with all
some
that stuff,
people, that's
it is.
reasonable.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, considering the bike itself is a $13,000 bike as is, yeah, it's pretty cool.
yeah,
That is awesome.
I mean, let alone a tower and all that stuff is
yeah.
$4,000 probably for the kit, but a rad bike, and one of which I've owned that platform, not this one, but that
Right.
same 450 motor is an absolute fucking beast.
Yeah.
It is so powerful that it will shed its shifter knob
And then you can drive home in fifth the whole way.
the whole way.
No matter what the circumstance.
Yeah. Talk about low end torque. 6 gear. It's a 6-speed.
6.
Oh, were you in
Yeah.
6? I thought you were in 5th.
No,
6
6.
speeds.
Oh.
Full top. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Gotta love that recluse clutch there, huh?
Lots of slip. Got to stay up on those RPMs.
Well, I found what I would think is the worst car. If you wanna see that.
The
Yeah.
Mini? Yeah, okay.
Let me
We already
see.
looked
No.
at that.
Well,
Worst thing that's not the Mini.
here's the thing. I think that it's the worst just
here we go.
because
The long lead up again. Oh, here. Oh,
Because
What?
it doesn't even have a
it's
ready.
two fronts.
oh it's a stupid.
Oh,
it's a
no.
dented Jeep again.
God damn it.
And it's yellow. It's the same color as that Jeep was.
Man.
Or orange or whatever you want to call it, Luke. But the fact that it's got two fronts.
I think competed
Is
in the original race.
Does it also have rear steer then?
I don't know. But it's hilarious
That's
looking.
pretty bad.
There's some other really cool classic stuff that's running.
But what's that?
That is
Is that
a
a Lotus?
Volkswagen Beetle.
Oh.
It's a 914, buddy.
Woo.
But they have a lot of cool,
Very
like
cool.
classic stuff. I think
Very
the classic
cool.
race is the one to watch.
Oh yeah, the
Very
classics has
cool.
got all the
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
really cool stuff in it.
Fine.
Like there's
Very
even
cool.
there's even a bunch of 80 series for Sean
Yeah.
in the classic
But like
for this
that's
year.
rad. That those two cars are racing against each
Oh
other.
my god, that 911 is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gen 2.
And for you.
Oh my
bunch of
God, the
Range Rovers. There's
Rovers.
actually a bunch of classic Range Rovers out there that
Yeah.
yeah. There wasn't any that had like really good livery though. That
Mm.
like that was the only thing
Another
that
camel-
didn't get me on it.
Was it a camel?
Like a
Cigarettes.
camel trophy one.
Well, that was
Livery
a
or-
different. That's a different race series.
Oh, okay.
That's a completely different thing.
Well, good, because I didn't know what I was talking about either.
Obviously.
But yeah, I think that classic race, I'm gonna go through and watch a bunch of stuff on that because once I started looking into it, that's just rad. It's so rad to see just this random, like, Porsche versus Mitsubishi versus like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's super cool. The I watched a couple pieces today, some of the truck stuff, which is very cool.
I love that these RVs are freaking doing. I mean,
Those are not RVs.
I know they're not but
race
they could-
trucks.
Yeah.
But why aren't they?
I mean,
why don't you have a sleeping?
you do have
area?
to sleep in the desert overnight on one of the stages. I don't know if it's more than one, but just
They have
one at least.
They have a camp though. They have like 3 or 4
yeah,
camps. Or
you go to a
something set
camp,
up.
yeah. But pretty
Yeah.
cool. The Sebastian Loeb was the guy that they were really hoping for this year. It sounded like he's a big WRC guy, and he
He's
crashed
out.
today.
Yeah.
I saw that. That was pretty.
Didn't he get called out on a technicality too?
Yeah.
Wasn't it like the cage was slightly bent, and instead of letting him fix it, they were like, "You are done."
Yeah, there's some. They basically stopped him from going again. So
one of the top bike riders from I think Germany fucking wrecked his shoulder too.
Ooh.
Is that the guy on the electric that exploded?
I don't think so. I don't think he was on an electric. Oh, is that the one I showed you? Like that
Yeah, the video you sent.
Wild. Yeah, it's a different one. Yeah.
Oh, and Carlos
geez.
Sainz was out too. He was out early. I saw that.
Dang
Oh.
it! That was
Little
the
French
that was
car.
the thing I was gonna. That was the next bit of trivia I was gonna say was who the most successful crossover
Carlos
driver
Sainz Senior.
is. Yeah.
Is he the most successful crossover? That's really
he's
cool.
He's won in. I was reading it earlier, but he's won on multiple platforms in Dakar
That's cool.
while also racing other series. Obviously,
Very cool. What a badass.
yeah.
Is someone gonna help me get my bike out of this bush?
Nope.
Could you please?
We're
please,
racing.
please help me.
He goes,
This
fine.
guy says,
What was
"All
funny
right, yes."
is the other Yamaha team rider just straight blasted past him.
He was saying, "Nah, man, I'm in a flow."
Mhm.
Got to do it for the team.
I did notice
been-
that like Honda bikes they're 5 in the top 7. So
Yeah, but
that
did you hear all the
CRF
different
450
guys?
field is it's all Hondas.
Did you see though that a lot of the Honda guys are complaining about the bikes too, though?
No, I didn't hear that.
They're complaining because they're winning? What?
Well, they're doing well, but they're like, it just doesn't feel like last year when I was in this type of a terrain, it felt better, and I did this and I did that, and it doesn't feel like that. But then there's like just kicking ass.
I think it's because
so
the KTM is just better, and they only have. But
it might be.
he's like 13 minutes ahead of everyone. It's fucking insane.
Did you see all the Cove or Cove Chinese bikes? How they're doing? There's 11 of them this year.
They're rad.
Yeah.
I'll be surprised if we don't see the other like CF Moto in it soon enough.
Oh, you're right. I didn't even think about that. Probably
Because they have a
What is CF Moto?
450 V twin.
there's a couple of
It's a-
Chinese motorcycle companies that are just like, you know what? We've decided we're gonna do the Dakar,
Mhm.
and they're like, and we did, and Cove or Cove or whatever you call it went out with 3 minis.
The sand stages are the best.
Went out with 3 bikes the first year in 2023, and they all 3 finished, which is like unheard of
There he is, right
for
there.
a brand new bike that's never been run, that's never been like put
There's
through that
signs.
kind of paces. The fact that they had 3 bikes with 3 riders finish was huge.
Huh.
And then they were in the top 10 last year, and this year they've got more bikes and they're hoping to do more work. But
There's Mike's Raptor that rolled.
Especially
Gotta
because
rip that.
This is
body
not
panel
ideal.
quick.
Great commentary. This is not ideal.
Car's a bit banged up, and so are we.
yeah, little
All right.
body work, you'll be on your way. Don't you worry about it.
Smoking a little, you know.
That's
Okay.
fine.
It's okay.
But yeah, it's the fact. So the crazy thing about the Cove or however you're supposed to say it is they're sub $10,000 bikes,
Mhm.
and they're as built as like they're raced the same bike that you can order in the US right now.
they have more
so they're
features than
450.
the standard Honda bikes come with. Like they're
Yeah,
like full hydraulic clutches and everything, which is only until recently did Honda and fucking Yamaha really start doing that.
yeah. It was on my list of possibilities before I bought my KLX.
Mhm.
But it's quite a bit heavier than my KLX, and it's designed for these kind of races, not for dual sporting. And they weren't currently available as a dual sport. They were all off-road only.
Yeah.
So I didn't pick one up, but did a lot of research in them, and they were rad. They're really, really cool.
Well, same with there's a couple gas bikes too, which is nice to
Mhm.
see. And
Well, would you pay money for this?
Oh, hold on.
For
I was looking at the motorcycles.
the race, yes. For the motors.
No, I've got to pay money for this
Oh, you got a whole
right
thing?
here, right now.
Oh, let's do it.
Okay.
Holy cow!
All right.
Is it
Transitions
this is-
are hot.
Is it
this
a,
is-
I was watching
is it
racing
a
and talking about
Cove
motorcycles.
Pro Race
This
2024
might be
450? Because I'm looking at
first
that right now.
Pay money for this. Okay. I'm gonna do the same thing I've done before. Oldest to newest or newest to oldest?
Let's go newest to oldest.
Yeah.
Let's
Newest
switch
to
it up.
oldest this time. Okay.
I like it.
All right. This one here is a Sean special.
I'm in. Oh, yeah.
15 Cayenne diesel.
Oh, it's a diesel.
So
Mm,
flat
fine.
black.
I hate that.
It's got a
Fine with that.
little push bar. You know, it's got the hey, I'm gonna overland my Cayenne things.
Mm-hmm.
Current high bid is 26,666.
Nice.
What year is it? 2015.
15.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd pay for. I would pay money for that. I'd pay that money for that. I think
I figured you would.
it needs a little more tire or something, but I like it.
I'd tell my mom to buy it instead of a.
It's a lot of luxury features.
It's got a ladder just in case
It's
the roof is too
little bitty
tall.
ladder. Got a little ladder.
Got a stupid snorkel.
Look at that snorkel. That is terrible looking.
Terrible.
Yeah,
It's
That
like an emo
looks
kid with hair on
so
just one
bad.
side.
What the
Uh,
hell even is that?
I have to say no, that I would not spend money on that because I have promised since I had my last flat black vehicle to never own a flat black vehicle again.
first that's satin black, or it's
It's some sort
it's
of
PPF wrapped
PPF,
black.
I'm sure, but I won't do it.
But
I hated it.
I mean, the finish is the least like offensive thing about that
It's
to me.
Snorkel. Ugh.
The snorkel's awful.
snorkel's
That
terrible.
rear tire carrier is awful.
It's a
I'm-
turbo.
I'm
diesel,
not gonna
right?
change-
So
Yeah.
that snorkel's just going.
I bet it sounds cool. I'm not going to change my answer. I still would pay money for this, but I would probably rather have a stock one that I could do just wheels, tires, and a lift on.
And those are Harbor Freight lights.
No,
back to
those
that.
are Baja designs.
Are they Baja designs?
They
They
sure.
look an awful lot like the
They're
Harbor
Baja
Freight
designs.
lights.
Baja
Okay.
designs.
Okay. All right.
Just
was
because
in Harbor
Harbor
Freight
Freight
today.
makes a ripoff doesn't mean that it's the same thing.
Oh, I was in there today and I saw that light and I was like, no way.
They're good wheels. So
That's a
That's
really
good.
shitty
His
job
bumper
on that.
cut wasn't the best
Ooh,
job.
Whoa,
bad job
on
on
the
that.
exhaust.
Yikes.
Whoops.
Where's this supposed to be? I don't know.
Got away from him a little bit on that.
They
with
didn't,
the whole
even,
saw.
they didn't even try to
License-
put edge trim.
It's not
or
even
anything on it.
round.
license plate says Dieselgate.
Dieselgate.
Not bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I bet they got a good deal on this. That's why they cut
They
it
could
up
have
and
used a
made it
hole
off-road.
saw and made it look better.
I think he did, and it just got away from him.
It
is what I'm
just
saying.
got away from him.
Didn't start with a pilot.
Yeah, I'd change some things, but overall, I like it.
I wouldn't pay money for this.
I wouldn't pay money. Yeah.
I would not. What'd you say, Steve? You would?
That's a no. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Sean's
close.
alone on
It's
his island.
close. It's close, but no.
It is wrapped, by the way.
Yeah, it's white.
Yeah, I'd rather it be white.
Me too.
But again, the flat
Yeah,
black to me is
for
the
sure.
least offensive thing about its look.
I hate it.
Low miles, which is good.
7,000.
That is pretty.
10,000 miles?
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Why?
Well, if it was a Dieselgate car,
Is
it
this
sat on
is
a
this
lot
one of
for
those? Is this one of
5
those?
years.
He bought it and thought that he could make it an Overlander, and then was like, "This thing does not work
Yeah,
for
this
this."
fucking
No, he
Yeah,
probably
So
bought
I
it, put all the
sold
stuff on it, and decided he didn't like doing it, and he could drive his whatever,
Well,
His
so
911
whatever other
RS.
car to the trailhead where he hikes from.
we bought a 2015.
Oh, go back. We can see that. We can see the owner.
Can you?
Yeah, in the review mirror. Go back a couple. Right.
Oh.
Enhance.
Oh, some
Enhance.
young punk.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
the guy.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Look at that
If
house.
your mustache doesn't attach at your beard, you instantly
That's
are a
true.
douchebag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't grow
Punchable.
facial hair.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Has not one but two rings on side by side fingers.
Yeah.
Nope.
That's
No.
an odd.
In
That's an
reverse,
odd one.
And he's not even married because that's reverse. It's the other hand. He's just wearing rings for the fun of it. The Dieselgate thing, though, it could have been on a lot for 2 years, which is why it has such low miles. Because we bought a 2015 and 2017 or something like that. That had been it was a brand new car. It had been sitting at the Volkswagen dealership because they weren't allowed to sell the diesels until it got figured out.
It's got plenty of carbon fiber inside.
Oh yeah, it's a race car.
Also, what's really weird is the
I mean,
full
that's pretty
moon
decent
roof.
skids.
It's nice.
It's got a full moon roof, and then they put a
It's
fucking
like a pano roof.
giant roof rack over
Rack
top
over
of
it.
it.
Yeah.
Talk
So
to
you,
Sean
so you get
about
a
that.
good view of your max tracks.
Ooh.
So we've got this
What happened there?
weird clampy do,
Which could be
And then-
factory.
Step up.
and then whatever this weld job is
It's sealed up
on there.
thanks to its multiple
That don't
welds.
leak, I
bet it won't
promise.
leak. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. And then a shitty hole. So it's like he had somebody do
And-
a bunch
and
of
like-
work, and then he did the exhaust
It
himself.
still
Hold on,
hangs
look
down
at
lower
where the
than it
exhaust
exits.
goes, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It
Yeah.
exits
not
high,
exiting
but it's
high.
hanging
Look-
low.
Just
Weird.
run it out the back, bud.
Just cut it right
Just
there.
dump down.
My
Also,
other-
is there no muffler?
Here's my other favorite thing. He's got a receiver on it.
Yeah,
That
with
he
the camera.
mounted his rear view camera into the receiver.
Well, I didn't want to play stereo guy, but it's got some weird aftermarket like screen in it, and
Mhm.
it's definitely using an aftermarket camera for the screen because it probably couldn't integrate into the factory camera.
Yeah.
So
How do these
that's
things
kinda
sound
messed up.
straight piped? Because that's straight
Probably
piped.
pretty good, honestly.
Really?
It's they're like the I'm pretty sure they're like the whatever 3-liter TDI or whatever. It's a 6-cylinder
it's
turbo
three-
diesel.
It's 3.6. Or no, it's 3 liter. No, yeah,
Yeah.
3 liter V6.
Yeah. So they're pretty cool.
I
I
don't know.
think.
I-
I don't know. I like it just because I think they're cool. I think that one's overdone, and I think it's kind of got a bunch of stupid shit on it, but I
Yeah.
still like it.
All right. I'll pay money for something else, though.
I
I'm sure
hate
of it.
Not for me.
That's all right.
Okay, so
Different strokes.
next thing up, we have this one, a 1990 Mercedes-Benz 310
Yep.
Oh,
Take
I will.
Cool.
Take my money.
D
I'll give you the money.
4x4 van.
I'll trade in my truck for it tomorrow.
It's in Hood River. I'm going to go. I'll see if he'll take my Jeep in trade.
84,000 miles. Some rust, it's got 2 seatbelts in it, it says.
Look at that
Ooh.
light bar.
That's
Yeah,
rad. That
it's
thing's
got a
fucking
bed,
rad.
couch, yada, yada, yada. Bunch of, it's got an OM 602, which is, it's not the greatest one, but it's a very reliable
He
engine.
says it's a 1,000,000-mile motor.
Those are that is
Yeah.
the
Take a long time,
yeah.
but it
Yeah.
will go a million
yeah,
miles.
that is the 1,000,000-mile motor, yeah. It'll do 78 miles an hour on 31s, but it gets 17 to 20 miles to the gallon.
I love it. I don't care about any other. I like the green doors. It's Christmas.
Yuck. I like it overall. Green doors are stupid.
Oh, I would paint them red. I wouldn't keep them green. But yes, I would pay money for this. Not great with the pictures.
It's a
though,
weird
huh, bud?
picture of the. I mean, granted, the engine bay isn't really an engine bay.
Yeah.
It's the little snub nose. There's just enough room to fit the radiator in there. That's radiator and the intake, and then your caps so that you can fill it with coolant and oil.
Is it like what, a 4-inch wide
It's
radiator?
It's a pretty wide
It looks pretty big.
radiator. Yeah.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's aluminum.
Oh boy.
Well, I mean, I'm not surprised that
Yeah.
the wiring looks like this on an import such as this.
That's a Ford
Here's his
start or a
House
starter relay.
setup. Okay, pretty much the
I'm in. I was
rolling
already in
gears.
Yeah,
before, I'm
manual.
still in.
Got a diesel heater.
in the
Ah,
passenger
nice.
floor well thing, footwell.
I would set it up completely different, but
Yeah.
Right.
I try and run it as is for a little while and see how I feel, and then I'd make some changes based off.
I
what
don't
need.
like the fact that the diesel heater is right when you open the fucking door.
Not
There's
ideal.
there's
Yeah, odd
much
choice, but
better
all right.
places to put this shit. This guy just like
Yeah.
chucked it in there, and then where it's stuck, that's where he kept it.
After having a diesel heater inside the cab of a vehicle, though, you want it as far away from where you're sleeping as possible. Otherwise, you'll turn into Jesse, and you'll wake up in the middle of the night with cracked lips because it was pointed directly at his face.
Guys,
and
he's including the sand ramps.
oh well,
Oh.
Sand
well,
ramps. All right.
It's a funny name for Max Tracks.
I'm sure they're
Off-brand.
They're off-brand. It's the German Max Tracks.
We
They're
have Max
Sandramps.
Tracks at home.
So we're all. So that was.
I didn't say anything,
We were
by
all,
the way.
Oh no, you said that. You said
said
that you
you
would
I
pay
said
money
I'm
for
into
it.
it.
Oh,
You said you.
I don't know.
I'm
I might
pretty
have to
sure.
roll the
Let's-
tape back.
We
on
might.
that
roll it
one.
back.
I would pay money for that.
Yeah.
These are not my favorite van things. I think
Mhm.
they're kind of ugly,
That's rad.
but it's cool.
It's
I
cool.
mean,
that's
like,
my favorite part
it's
about it.
manual diesel van, 4-wheel drive. Like, it could be anything, including a Sprinter. Sorry, everybody, and I'd still be into
Nope.
it.
Definitely not for me. All right, so
Oldest
Sean
one?
last
Sprinter
one,
Lee.
the oldest one we've got here.
Oh, older than 1990. Okay.
Yep. I said I was going to start. Let's go the oldest. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yes.
Yeah. Also, yes.
Yep.
87 4Runner, 14,000. So it's 529s RCV shafts. It's
Mhm.
IFS, hub swapped,
Well, it's
V6
IFS hub
calipers,
swaps.
Oh, okay,
3RZ
sorry.
motor. Yes.
Tacoma
I see.
rotors, trail gear knuckles, long spline, 12-inch Bilsteins for the front, and then 529s, Detroit locker, Chevy 63s,
I'm gonna say something before you get there.
3RZ.
Bobbed 4Runners are weird. Not my favorite thing. Still like this truck.
Is it bobbed?
Yeah.
Okay.
4.0 steering pump, yada yada. Bobbed 10 inches.
Wow.
10 inches.
I don't see the reason behind that to me. I think 4Runner, I think snow wheeling, I think is my thing. So I don't care about wheelbase.
I think.
as
I mean,
much.
I've just got a bigger SUV already. This thing is
Yeah.
smaller to start with.
Tubbed firewall to clear 42s on low
42-inch
lift
Can't
Bull
lose.
rockers.
42s,
Yeah.
you can't
That's a
lose.
good tire, and it is pretty low.
on 12-inch wide DIY bead locks.
Yuck.
Dual click cases, 4.7 kit, 5-speed, yada yada yada. So it is pretty low. I
Yeah.
will say.
I would.
Pretty
pay
It's
low.
also
money for
white.
that.
It's got the good graphics.
Yeah, it's got the
I
cool
mean, it's-
graphics.
There's nothing wrong with this truck,
No.
other than the fact that it's bobbed.
Other
But
than the bobbing,
fine
it's a
with it.
little odd, but
it's better than some. A lot of times, it seems like when people bob them, they don't keep the fiberglass top. They'll just put a you know
Like a
whatever
metal shell thing.
bimini thing or like a metal
It-
shell or something weird.
I feel like it's a
Burgundy
Toyota
interior.
Extra.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, kind of. It is also just like the most basic, great Toyota build.
Yeah.
Like,
That's it.
Mhm.
I mean,
yeah, because it's still on leafs.
Yep.
It just,
big tires,
yeah, big tires,
a lot of gearing,
Mm-hmm.
clearance
modern engine
for it.
just go snow wheeling.
This is the cut
and
that
love
Jesse
it.
needs to do on his truck.
with the corner light cut
With
to
the
match.
corner light cut, yeah. Since
So that he doesn't keep
since
popping
he's
them out.
popping them out.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
I would.
does he
It's a
really
crowd
need
pleaser.
turn light
I
on?
mean, he's not even asking that much. Is what 14 something?
14.
this is now
Like,
not only is this the mid-sized truck podcast, what we're turning "Would you pay money for that?" into is Toyota's available sub $15,000 that are pretty cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much
To
Yeah,
and
there
and
was a
not
good
RC
Toyota
cars,
on the last one, too.
or
And not-
sometimes RC cars.
some RC cars too.
Okay, cool. Glad we're in agreement.
Man,
Okay.
Easy
Can you
peasy.
have we
bring
ever
one up
had
that
a,
we could argue about more? Come on.
Yeah, have we ever had a? Would you pay money for that?
I mean,
Everybody agreed on.
Well,
we
what
argued about
happens
the
some-
Porsche. So
yeah.
I
What
don't know you
happens
mean.
sometimes is we have a cool rig like that and Luke's on the show.
Oh, yeah.
Then we
Luke would never buy a Toyota.
Not a
No,
Toyota,
just
no.
based on principle.
Fair enough.
even
Fair enough.
even if he actually bought
Which
it,
I
he would still
appreciate
say,
about him.
Hey, yeah.
I will say,
Yeah.
I appreciates that about you, Luke.
There's no quit in his quit.
Yeah.
On certain things.
It's
He
yeah,
has
it's the
no-
same. It's the same way I am if I was to ever bring a Subaru up. I
Yep.
would just bring it up so I could say no right away.
No Subaru
We
at
know
all.
the answer on that.
There's not one.
He'd bring it on for
You
profiling
can't even
purposes
dream of a
only.
world of anything with a Subaru badge you would ever have.
Even a brat.
No,
All right.
2.5
because it's still
RS.
Subaru.
Okay.
They
It's
just
definitely
and they
no,
just
I'm
don't do
sure.
anything for me.
I love a brat.
A 2.5 RS might be the best one visually.
I'll go even beyond
for
that,
me
and I
for me
will
to
just
look
say
at, but
a 22B. So not
about-
even a
Oh my
US variant.
God.
A
Oh,
wide body from
the
Japan,
one.
22B.
K-swapped.
it still says Subaru on the hood.
Well, but it has none of the.
There was a time where you could
Wow.
almost get me with a Subaru,
Yeah, I actually
but just because it said Saab.
no, but I
on
know
it,
what you mean though,
but
and they
but it's
actually
still
they
still
looked a
Subaru.
little better.
no,
They did have a
definitely
little bit better.
They were
look,
just like a
yes.
little bit. Yeah.
but still,
Hmm.
yeah, can't do it. Same reason I fucking hate BRZs. And the other one, whatever the GT
86.
86, because it's like,
Or
nope,
well,
that's
the
just
Honda
Subaru.
or the
FRS.
FRS, the Scion.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Still, one of my
I
least
like
favorite
those, and-
cars was like the XC.
I do. I don't like the first gen ones, but the current ones, I think they're great. I think aesthetically they look good. They've got
Yeah.
a reasonable amount of power. They're rear wheel drive, manual, limited slip. Like, I don't know. I think it's a great car. Like, if I needed a car that I like, this is me in a different world, right? Where I want to like autocross or kind of do some like track day stuff. I need something that I think looks cool and I could drive every day.
I'd buy a Miata.
I think a 8.6 is probably like really high on the list. Next to a Miata, next to a used bunch of things. But if it was like,
But if you were gonna buy,
there's
new,
a world where I could see me buying one.
The new
You're gonna
MX-5
buy
looks
new.
so good though.
If it was 2025, you had to buy it.
Oh,
and
I'd
you were
buy
gonna
that.
Pick one. I'd buy a
Over
Miata.
I'd buy it
Over
over
a Miata?
Miata.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
No way.
Yeah.
0%.
I think the Miata's great. Don't get me wrong. I just think that at the same, like, I think that the 8.6 is better.
I don't.
In the,
agree
like,
ever.
new to new.
Nope.
Disagree.
I disagree.
That's okay.
completely.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
I would
okay.
fully go with an MX-5 over it.
You're probably
Miata
the only,
is always
I
the
think
answer
you're the only one.
except for Sean.
I'm the only one
we
out of
should
our
poll,
friends for
Yeah,
sure.
our entire
Yeah.
group here.
Yeah.
And
you would be
probably
the
all
only
of the
one.
people that listen to the podcast, which is also our friends.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's okay. I'm happy. I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah, feel free to comment on this one if
There-
you've got a different
yeah.
opinion.
I
than
will
that.
say it again. There
But you'll
are
be wrong.
20 usable or used cars that I would buy over
Oh, yeah.
both of those
Yes.
any day of the
Yeah,
week
Sure.
for the same money. I mean,
Absolutely.
many.
Absolutely.
But new to new, I think I'd buy an 8.6.
No.
I think the new Miata's really boring looking. Sorry, Luke. I think they're cool, but I think they'll be way cooler in 15 years. Right now, when I see them, I see a new one. I see an old lady in it. But I see a new 8.6. I see like, all these companies doing great aero kits, all these good wheel
because
companies
they
and
need
stuff.
so much in order to be
Here's-
worth
I
looking
think-
at.
That
I
MX,
think they look better.
the MX-5.
I'm
looks
really glad.
so
I'm really
good.
glad that
way.
you brought this up,
It's
Sean,
got such a
because it's
good
going to make
ass.
you moving away a lot easier.
Wow, you're gonna be so
Because
mad.
I've lost respect for you.
Wow.
Completely.